to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
It's a Friday night, the end of the work week. We've struggled through work for, 5 days now?
Yeah, I still have one more to go.
And this evening finds me and Mark, just me and Mark. That's it. We didn't allow anyone else to come join us tonight.
Well, we allowed them. I don't think they
don't want to hang out with us. But they didn't want to come hang out with us tonight.
I think they're intimidated.
I think they are too. We're too good at this podcasting thing. But here we are tucked away in the war room in the west end of the high desert of whatever. We're here in the war room. I got that all freaking messed up there. And we are, what are we cranking out? Episode 351.
351.
351. 351. No, we're 351 episodes. I gotta say that correctly.
Okay.
So everyone
no Ebonics then?
No, none of that. This is freaking Buell, Idaho, right?
Okay. I tried.
So here we are, episode 351, and we usually do these right after a class or something. No class. I just got done mowing the lawn.
Well, I have class. I'm pretry sure you have class, but
I don't have any.
No firearms classes that we.
I don't have any class. My shoes are untied. There's holes in them. We're kicked back here. I'm looking to. It's about 7:00. I'm looking to go to bed when I get this done.
All right.
So it's bedtime.
I still got to pack my meat.
Yep.
I mean, because I'm cooking food tomorrow.
Yeah, I know
so
you're single and all that. I don't know what you're doing. He's going out on his meat route or something. I'm not sure.
I got a bunch of meat I'm cooking up.
He's got to go home and put some rub on his meat or rub.
That's already been done. So.
You know what? I think that's another podcast.
Yeah, that's probably
that's the podcast.
R-rated.
That's the podcast that Mark does when he's all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep.
So, anyhow, what have you been up to? We start off like this, so we can't quit now. What have you been up to this last week? Second Amendment related.
Yeah, work. That's
work.
about it.
Man, that's
selling guns.
Your answer for everything.
I know. I work too much.
Yeah, me too. My boss doesn't think I work enough. I think I work too much.
Yeah.
So, any cool gun counter stories?
Not really. This happens every so often. Somebody comes in and wants an appraisal or wants to know a gun value, and we kind of oblige, and we pretty much just tell them what we could buy it for, even if it's used or whatever.
Do you ever tell them like really, really cheap and then try to get it from the parking lot?
No, I'm pretty honest. If anything, I'll go to gun broker and just find out what people are selling them for.
Same thing they could do, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty much.
But some like this guy, he was like probably 80s or something. He's probably not really involved with the internet at all.
Right.
He's a rancher from Montana, and he was telling me the whole story. Nice guy. He brought in a Weatherby Mark V rifle, 300 Weatherby mag.
Right.
Made in West Germany. It's an older one. Had the potential of being a nice rifle if it would have been taken care of.
Right.
Had very, very bad.
So was it just beat up like he used it a lot, or was it like
it was beat up?
Someone didn't care.
Somebody didn't care for it. They, threw it in the back seat of their truck, and it got, rocked around and rubbed on stuff.
Got a shotgun like that.
Yeah, me too. But there was just patches of the bluing were just worn off, and it was really gummed up. The action was really gummed up and dirty, and
it'd been rolling around his back seat for a while.
Probably,
it sounds like.
Yeah. The stock was just patchy. It just had like different color stain on the stock. Like somebody tried to restain it, but they used 3 different colors.
The Minwax Queen.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah. It just hadn't been well taken care of, and whoever had it before him, he said it had that camo tape. They put the tape on it to
the sticky.
The sticky. Yeah. Oh yeah. There was residue on it. Like adhesive residue on there.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
The lacquer thinner pulls that stuff right off.
He said he used gasoline, and I'm like, oh, even better. Whoa. Let's fire this thing off, you know. See if we can get it to
Kaboom.
ignite on fire. Yeah. I mean, I felt bad for the guy. He was obviously kind of wanting money, and he even offered to sell it to me and Val at the gun counter. We obviously both declined, but
Well, if you wanted to sell it that bad, he should just. Well, he's probably hoping to get more money out of you guys.
yeah,
I'd say you take it to like a pawn shop or something.
right. And we told him, you know, somewhere where he could take it, and they might buy it off of him, or
Right.
I don't know that he's going to get the money he wanted out of it, but you know, at least he had an opportunity.
So that's, I don't know. Take care of your guns, right? But we all have that gun. I hunt with a really old rifle that I've restained. It looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's refinished. It's an old pre-64 Winchester Model 7270. Love that gun. It's my grandpa's gun.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't reblued it or anything. Doesn't need it. The bluing is like perfectly just wore out. It's wore in just beautiful. I've refinished the stock on it, and it's a nice, lovely gun. And then I've got a shotgun that I bought. Let's see. Actually, I'll throw this out there. Sunday is my anniversary, my wedding anniversary.
Oh, okay.
It'll be like, that's too long of a pause.
You made it this long.
I think it's like
keep going.
23 years.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm getting old. And so where's it going? Oh, I bought this shotgun like the first year we were married. So I've got sold.
Wait, she let you buy a shotgun?
She did. She let me buy a shotgun.
Dang. Now I know why you stuck with her.
I know. Good woman. Good woman. And I bought this shotgun. It's a Mossberg 500 12 gauge pump. I bought it when Kmart was still selling guns.
Wow.
That's
been a while ago.
Yeah, and I bought it brand new for like $179.
That was before Rosie O'Donnell got a hold of them.
Exactly. And anyhow, great gun. Love it. I've refinished that stupid thing. I refinished the stock on it like 6 times by now. And it's paddled boats. It's been on the bottom of the boat under bags of decoys. I've dropped it in the bottom of the river before.
This sounds familiar. I've done the same thing.
I've used it as a walking stick. The dog's pissed on it more than once.
Wow.
And it's just beat up. But that thing just runs. The action is so broken because it's a pump.
Mm-hmm.
You can almost just like make a sudden movement with the gun. Ratchet the action.
It's like once you pull the trigger and the round goes, then it automatically does it itself.
It's so freaking broke in. That gun is just a phenomenal shotgun. I mean, it's not most expensive. It's no Benelli. It's no, Browning Satori or whatever it is they have. But it's my go-to. It's ugly.
It's my go-to is Remington 870.
It's a horrific looking shotgun, but it works.
It's gonna keep running now.
Oh yeah. I bought a newer Mossberg and I don't like it near as much.
Yeah.
But everyone's got one of those beat up guns. I'd never
absolutely.
think about selling it. So if that was his gun and he was selling it, he was either really hard up or something. But
well, he tried to sell me his Dodge truck too.
Oh, did he?
Wow. Yeah, which I mean, it's more than
more
than I could afford.
You got to pay me to take a Dodge truck.
Yeah. I mean, it was a diesel, and it sounded like it was a good truck. But
you could have been a 208 coal roller, dude.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, but it was, he's a rancher from Montana, so I'm sure it was pretty well used.
Oh, I'm sure
towing stuff
But anyhow, just take care of your firearms. I guess that's the moral of the story. If you ever want to sell them, I don't know why anyone would sell a firearm, but if it's what you want to do, take care of them. Don't beat them up. Mm-hmm. Don't take them in with looks like the stocks have. I mean,
maybe if it's like a fire star or whatever it is, you could potentially want to sell that.
So let's throw that out there. We have our
entry for a fancy gun contest.
Our entry for our hashtag
fancy.
Our entry for our hashtag fancy gun, and it was a local guy here, and he was selling. What do you have? Do you have it on your phone?
Yeah.
Hold that.
I'm not gonna name the name.
Yeah, don't name the name, but you can read the whole posting. It's freaking hilarious. It's a star, which he gets one thing right in his description. They're rare enough that you don't see them very often because most people aren't buying them.
I do with it.
So did you lose it?
No, I don't think so. There it is.
Okay. Read us this.
So let's see here. Price $400. And it was here local. It's a Firestar M40. selling it because I have a CC and not a fan of the 40, which I had to agree with him on that one.
Yeah.
$400, 1993 Star Firestar in 40 caliber. Original box, one 6-round mag and one 7-round mag. Both are factory original. These are very collectible as a hashtag fancy gun.
Very rare.
And fairly rare now.
They're rare because nobody wants them pieces of crap.
I've put 150 rounds downrange, no malfunctions at all. So
it's rare because nobody wants it. And if they have it, they don't freaking admit it.
You know, there's a bunch of those firearms companies that just kind of came out.
Where's Star out of?
I'd have to Google it. I don't even know.
They aren't even in business anymore, right?
No, and that's the thing. It's like in the 80s and 90s, there was all these little pop-up gun,
and what a
manufacturers.
fine vintage, a 1993.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's like
the finest year.
It's like a fine wine.
It's the finest years. The Starfires, is that what it's called?
Star Firestar.
The Star Fires. Oh my, what a awesome name! The Star Firestar was made. If I remember right, they're really blocky looking and really square looking.
It's a cross between a High Point and a miniature 1911, from what I can tell in the picture.
Hashtag winning.
Yeah.
So look at that. Did you notice I just used the hashtag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that means.
I don't either.
To me, it means pound, but because that's what I grew up with. But
hashtag pound. Yeah, I don't know. Quarter pounder.
Yeah.
But anyhow, what a nice gun. So if you got $400 and you want to buy yourself a hashtag fancy gun, and you go ahead and put that in a really crappy holster, and you can get hashtag crappy carry, and that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and then you could get both.
You could get both.
Two hashtags.
So we just mentioned this, and I guess Mark's looking at me and kind of leading me into making my decision right now.
I don't know if this is a good idea. We might get some people mad at us.
So here's the thing. We got these two hashtags that we're pushing, and we've got hashtag crappy carry and hashtag fancy gun. If you listen to the podcast, you know what our version of fancy guns are. And if you listen to the podcast, you know what our version of crappy carry is. So if you combine the two, if you can get a picture of a gun that is an off-brand, so fancy gun like High Point, a Star, a Jennings,
Jimenez.
Jimenez, whatever. I'd even take a Sky.
What about a Bursa? Bursas are borderline. I actually think Bursas are kind of cool, but
we'll see we'll see.
Okay.
But if you can get us a picture of one of those being carried crappy, so it fits both the hashtags, hashtag crappy carry, hashtag fancy gun, and you tag them as such on Facebook, on our page, and make sure your name's on there, I will get your contact info from you, and we're gonna run this for what's today? Okay,
today's the 29th.
We're starting today.
29th of June.
We're starting today. We're gonna go till the end of July.
So this podcast will come out on the 1st.
Yes.
So probably start from the 1st.
And we're gonna go till the end of July.
There you go. 1 month.
This is gonna be a 1-month contest, and so you do that, and I'm gonna keep track of all those pictures, and we'll post them as we go, all that good stuff. And the best one.
Do we pick like you and me?
I don't know if we're gonna do the best one. I think we'll just you, me, and Dean whenever he decides to show the hell back up. We will pick the best one, the best combination. Okay, and make sure it fits those hashtags, and we'll pick someone's name and we will send them a hat. I don't care. So you got to find our Facebook page, Patriot Defense.
Patriot Defense
on Facebook, and you're gonna tag it hashtag crappy carry, hashtag fancy gun. It's got to be a fancy gun being carried horribly, and post it up there, and I'll get you a hat. I'll get you a freaking. I don't even have one to show. I'll post it on Facebook. So there we go. I'll post it on Facebook. You can share this with your friends. Get everyone to like the page, follow the page, listen to the podcast, and put that up there. And I'll send someone a hat. I don't care if I'm sending this thing to freaking China, where
I knew you were going to say China.
Or Japan, where we do have listeners.
Are they allowed to wear hats in China?
I don't have any idea, but I'll send them one.
with American flags on them, especially.
Yeah, and the guns. They can hang it. They can hang it on their wall.
There you go.
I don't care, but I'll send a hat out. Okay, so you have a month. I need them rolling in, and you got to hashtag them both, and throw it up there. And
yeah,
it'll be
1 month. People, get your cameras out.
Get your phone cameras ready.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna happen.
Get your phone cameras ready and head to your local Walmart.
That's probably the best place to go.
Unless you have a county fair going on somewhere, that'd be another good place to go.
We might want to bring this back up around the fair.
Around
I could win this thing.
There you go. So, other than that, that's our big announcement. I'm trying to think of what I did this week that was Second Amendment related. Nothing.
Did you clean your guns yet?
From when?
Last year.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I've been so busy. I did go back behind the berm and found one of your dragon scales.
The one that took off?
I found it. It's laying back there. I sprayed a little
cool.
Roundup on it so it didn't grow. But
that's cool.
Anyhow,
so I saw like your old this is off topic, but your old your old town got hit by a tornado.
Yeah, a place I used to live in Kansas, the town got hit by an what's this scale? Is it
EF3?
EF3 tornado, and I lived there for 6 years and it had never gotten tornado. Had never, well, years and years and years ago, like back in the 60s, they got a picture of one coming down Main Street actually, but there's a big hill up there. It sits in the middle of Tornado Alley in Kansas, Eureka, Kansas, and the tornadoes would come across the hills, the Flint Hills there, and the bottom would always drop out when it come down what they called Cattleman's Hill, and so it never turned into a tornado. Got hit by one 3 years ago, and then it got hit by another one this week, and it came through town, and it went right through town, destroyed a bunch of stuff, obviously, and I posted a bunch of videos on my personal Facebook page that you can check out. That's Todd Eccles, ECCLES. If you want to look me up, you can friend me on that one too. And the house that I used to live in, it took the garage and the fence and everything. The garage is just totally missing.
Wow.
It destroyed that. A little kind of heartbreaking for me. I don't have any family that lives there, but I lived there for 6 years, man. Those people were like my family. And it's kind of rough. People are like, aren't you glad you didn't live there? Actually, you know what? I wish I was there. I wish I did live there. And this happened because I so badly want to be part of the cleanup, if that makes any sense. Because, I mean, that's where my kids grew up. I mean, that's, I remember my little girls attending the school that got destroyed down there, and they were, little cheerleaders and stuff in junior high and whatnot. So it just breaks my heart. My heart goes out to those people. People I know there, I think there was one fatality, so that's a good thing. But yeah, it just decimated a good portion of that town. It's
that's
crazy.
Kind of that one of those things where you just want to pitch in and help out,
Right.
Obviously, it's hard being this far away now, but I've never experienced anything like that, so I don't even know how to.
That was it right after? It was right after I moved to Kansas. You remember Greensburg and the Greensburg tornado? Huge tornado wiped out the entire town of Greensburg. Huge tornado. It's on the other side of Wichita. On this side of Wichita, actually. And that happened, I want to say, that happened like 2 or 3 days after I moved there.
Oh, wow.
But that they were a ways away from me, but it was... See, Wichita was 60 miles from me, and this is probably another. So it's about 100 miles from me, let's say. But they went through and destroyed the whole town. And so people, when they do that, they'll shut the town down pretty much, not let anyone in or out, that kind of thing. And if you don't have a house to live in because it's destroyed by the tornado, you're going to go to a shelter or whatever, and they won't let you go back to your house. Downed wires is a safety concern.
Right, yeah.
Well, people got back. Kansas actually has fixed this problem since, but people got back to their houses and found if your house was destroyed, sometimes heavy things don't get moved, like gun safes or stuff from the basement. They noticed gun safes were open and their firearms were gone.
Oh.
And what happened, for safety reasons, they said that they went through and the government, FEMA, I don't know who, this kind of get conspiratorial here, but went through and actually took the firearms and said, don't worry, we got a ticket, we know whose goes whose, you can get it back later on. And people went to get their guns back, and a lot of people didn't get their guns back, or they were waterlogged, or his grandpa's really expensive gun was thrown in the corner, was beat up, was no good anymore, was destroyed. And I believe that after that, I can't remember the exact statute, but Kansas put in a thing that says they cannot come in and take your firearms in the state of emergency or disaster or anything like that. They cannot take.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and then that was right after. Well, it happened before, but that thing down in Louisiana where they went through and during Katrina?
Yeah.
Went through Katrina.
Flood,
yeah, and they took all those guns and stuff too. But pretty interesting deal. They fixed that right away, though.
I bet.
Right away.
A lot of pissed off people.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's that's a time when you may need a firearm because
looting and who knows, robberies. And
if you're in a place where there's a lot of natural, or they can be like lots of natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever.
I would say earthquakes, but that's in California, so
there you go. And
they don't have guns there.
No, they don't. They hit
even though people get shot all the time there.
That's right. Well, the bad guys have guns. The good guys have to chase them with fly swatters.
Yeah.
So if you're even allowed to kill flies over there, I'm not positive.
You can't even water your yard over there.
I know, you got to paint it green.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's when you need firearms. That's when you want to protect what's theirs. That's when you protect what's yours. Protect your neighbor's stuff. That's when you need the firearms, is in state of emergencies like that, right? Because people get desperate and bad things happen.
Yeah.
Looters show up, and and here you're afraid of looters showing up. And who looted the gun safes? It was the
government.
It was the government.
Yeah. How about that?
Or the responding agencies, but
right.
I don't know. They'll take them when they want to take them, I guess. They'll try anyhow. But there was an article that I can't. Who sent me the article? A buddy of mine sent me. His name is Brian. He sent me this article, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it says in the U.S., the civilians own over 400 million guns. He said that's more than the military. That's more than law enforcement put together. 400 million guns. That is a lot of firearms.
I believe it.
And I believe it too. I think a year and a half ago, it was like we were at like 300 something. So I can believe we've hit 400 million.
Yeah.
And they think they are going to take them from us.
Right.
Really?
400. Did they not learn from 1776?
400 million firearms? Really? And you're going to take them from us?
Yeah.
I'll give you.
Good luck.
You can come to my door. I'll give you #fancy gun.
Yeah,
but
there you go. You can have that one.
Anything else, no one's getting those, right?
Yeah. That's like that thing that says, if I have 5 guns and the government takes 5 guns, how many guns do I have?
36.
36. I lied about the 5.
Yeah, they only know about the 5 or whatever. What guns, right? I lost all mine in that freak boating accident.
Yeah, the one on the creek.
One on the creek in the canal. Yes, right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Any other news stories come out? Well, there's a big one.
There's a big one. I don't know if you want to.
Well, we can touch on it. There's really not a lot to talk about, and there's
a lot going on there, but I'm still not sure on.
Nobody's sure of anything.
Everything that's going on.
And the thing is it's the same old. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to say it's nothing, but it's the same old that happens. It's going to happen again.
Now
it's going to happen again.
There's the thing. I have a question before we get into this.
Sure.
I heard it was a shotgun. Is that
a shotgun?
Okay.
So over in Maryland, Annapolis, Maryland, I believe, it was at a newspaper.
Yeah, Gazette. Like it's one of the oldest newspapers in the country.
Yeah, and go figure, man. They're targeting media, right? There's a gentleman. I know they have his name out there now. I don't even remember what it is, but he was disgruntled. He in the past he got in trouble with some girl he was stalking in high school or something, or some girl he graduated with. Got in trouble.
Yeah, this is really involved. From what I understand,
happened years ago. Anyhow, he got in trouble. I think he might have went to jail, got probation. I don't know what he got. Anyhow, this newspaper, and there could be more to it. Okay, I read some articles this morning, so there's been like 12 hours that's gone by.
Yeah,
since
but I mean,
then.
it's the media. Who knows what to believe,
Right, exactly. But that's the problem.
Yeah.
But they printed his name in the paper and talked about what he had done and all this stuff. So he had a real problem with him. I think he had an issue with some of the employees there. He tried to get him to retract his name, and they said, nope, that's public. That's public information.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. We're perfectly fine and legal in doing so. Anyhow, I think this has been going on for years and years and years. Dude showed up with a shotgun. I believe he shot his way through the glass windows.
I heard that, yeah.
And he just walked in, and I don't know if it was just shooting people randomly or if it looked like he had a plan, but I think he killed 5.
See, and I heard that it was mostly random because none of the people that were involved in the restraining order and all this other stuff
even worked there anymore, did they?
Some of them didn't, but yeah.
So
it was probably random, I'm sure.
But he went through, and I don't know the total count. I think he might have killed
5 is what I heard.
5 and wounded some others, and some of the other ones were hit with like glass and stuff like that.
Right.
So they had the injuries, but they were kind of minor injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And with the interesting part about this is, and I'm sure they do it a lot, but it's only the first time I've heard it done in a case like this. Is they caught the guy, but he had, I don't know what he'd done. He had destroyed his fingerprints. He had destroyed the tips of his fingers. Whether or not he ground them off, I don't know what he did. But they actually had to ID him through facial recognition software, which that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, I know that like they just did something down in Florida in the airports or something that
right
is facial recognition stuff, and it's supposed to be like really cool.
But so yeah, they had to ID him with facial recognition stuff.
That's crazy though. Why would somebody take those steps to get rid of their fingerprints? And
yeah, that's nuts.
That just shows you
your
the mentality there.
You're a little messed up. You got a little more going on there than what meets the eye. And
right.
I think he had a bunch of they thought it was an improvised explosive device, an IED, but I think it ended up being a bunch of smoke grenades, that kind of thing. I don't know if he actually used any. I don't know. This happened. They all happen real quick, but it kind of caught me off guard yesterday, and I was kind of watching it, and then I think I went to sleep or something. But
well, I mean, this brings up that topic of mental stability, and with all these different shootings that are happening, I'm obviously saying don't blame the gun. Where others say blame the gun, it's obviously a mental thing. I mean that pretty much proves it.
Oh
to
yeah.
me.
Oh yeah. And why was he even able to get even a shotgun? So if I think one of the troubles in the past was like a domestic abuse or stalking or something, you got that on your record. You're not even supposed to buy a gun.
Right.
I haven't heard how he got this gun yet. Maybe it's out there.
We might hear some elaborate story on how this happened, I'm sure.
So, but notice though that the liberal media is not really climbing all over this one, because you know what? He's not a white Republican. Or I don't know if he's a Republican, but he doesn't fit their narrative. He didn't use an AR-15, and he's not
a member
white.
of the NRA.
Yeah, he's Hispanic, and he used a shotgun. So there you go. The tables are turned now. What are you going to do? They're not going to talk about it. Instead, they're going to talk about the new justice, which is important anyway.
Yes, it is.
But I don't know. There's that. I guess we can keep trying to follow that and kind of see where that one goes. But anything else happen at the gun store, man? No crazy stories, except for you're going to be out back rubbing on your meat tomorrow or something.
I don't know. We sold Rock Island 10 millimeter today, and a Glock 19X.
Do you sell a lot of
to the same guy? I mean, he bought 2.
So do you sell a lot of 10 millimeters?
Lately, it's kind of hit and miss, but it has picked up a lot. I mean, it's not like a consistent thing. Like a 9 millimeter is pretty consistent. We saw a lot of those.
What about those 19Xs, dude? What do you think of those?
I actually love them.
So I know Val, your coworker, he had one.
Yeah, he keeps trying to push it off on me, and I tell him not to because I'll end up buying one.
He was showing someone this gun. So it's a longer slide, right?
It's the first ever Glock hybrid.
Right.
And so it's a Glock 17 frame, so the grip and the frame, Glock 19 slide. So it's a shorter barrel with more capacity because it's the longer grip. and they actually come with a 17 round and two 17+2 round mags, and it's the one that was developed for the DoD contract.
Wouldn't you want it the other way around, though?
That's what a lot of people say.
Wouldn't you want the longer barrel equals maybe a little easier shooting, quicker to regain your sight picture? You know what I'm saying?
The way that
and a shorter grip, because you're concealing the barrel. It doesn't matter how long the damn barrel is.
They didn't develop this gun
for concealed carry.
Yeah, they developed it for the military, and
I guess a weight thing, maybe.
It could be
because the grip's going to be plastic, so if it's bigger, it's going to weigh less.
I always ask, why didn't they just go with the 17 period? But
it's the military; they're extra special, they think.
Right, and I mean, you get to looking at this. You get to looking at this gun, and it's actually pretty legit. Even though it's a Gen 5, they took the finger grooves out. They made an ambidextrous slide stop on it, which is what they should have done 2 generations ago, with the Gen 3. But there's a lot of features from the regular Gen 5s that I don't like.
Right.
That I actually like in this gun, because it's kind of. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the color, but I like the setup. I like the way it's put together. It's really, I don't know. It just feels great, and I do want to shoot it. But I'm afraid.
How much of a better shooter would it be? Because it's essentially still just a freaking Glock.
It's Glock 19. I mean, it's probably going to be the same as the Glock 19 I have.
So you're buying a fancied up Glock.
Yeah,
different color,
and all this stuff on
different night sights, flared magazine, mag deal.
Yeah, mag will. Yeah.
But
that's the thing is,
I don't know if I can get behind that. How much more are they?
They're, I don't know, $80 more, which is about what the cost of the sights, But Val, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to end up shooting Val's, and then
Is he trying to let you borrow it or something?
Yeah, he keeps trying to push it onto me. He's like, "You got to shoot this thing. Here, I'll give it to you to go shoot."
How can it be that much better? You don't.
He likes it.
You don't upgrade the barrel. You don't upgrade the springs. How is it that much different of a freaking firearm? It's not. I
don't know. It feels good, even though I like.
Is it better balanced?
It's pretty good. It's pretty balanced really well. I mean, especially if you get the loaded magazine in there.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it.
I'll end up buying it if I shoot it. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm trying to push it off the shooting it part.
Disclaimer: I actually thought about buying one a while back, but I just can't. It's the same thing. They just dressed it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, honestly, in my humble opinion, I think it should have won the contract for the military.
Anything but a SIG.
Well, I have the SIG P320 in the compact. I don't dislike the gun, but I think the Glock. I think the Glock's a better gun. Even though the SIG's more modular, you can switch out things, and it's a lot easier.
Right.
You one pin takes the whole gun apart. But I don't know. I think the Glock was a better gun. I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot, no pun intended, because they overbid the contract by a lot.
I think they should have gone with the Star. The Star Firestar. I know where they get a hell of a deal on
that. Yeah. I don't, they didn't even give it a chance.
They didn't give it a chance at all. We need to get some Jennings out there. Something. I mean, come on now.
I don't know. It is our military, and I think they deserve the best.
Well, they do, but they didn't. It's like I don't know. That Glock just seems like a waste of money for what you're getting.
It kind of does. I mean, once you get it in your hand, though, I just love it.
You want finger grooves? You put a freaking grip on there.
I don't even care on this one if it has finger grooves. I like the finger grooves on the Gen 4 and the Gen 3.
Think it feels a little different because the flared magwell. I think it stays.
That could be part of it. And they've got a little lanyard attachment on it for the military guys.
Oh hell!
But
really?
Yeah. I don't know. I like the feel of it though. Just kind of.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. Buy one and bring it, and I'll shoot it.
I do have one spot in my safe left for a pistol. I mean, there's a pocket there.
It's time for a new safe.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I ended up buying another safe just for the rifles, but for the pistols, I have one spot left.
So this brings up an interesting topic to me. People are going to say, "Well, it's about handguns." People are going to say, "Well, you don't need a reason to buy a handgun; just go buy one." And I understand. I agree with that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but what direction, and this is kind of up in the air, there's no right or wrong answer. I haven't seen anything new and super fantastic come out lately. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like the market is saturated with little guns. It's saturated with that. You got companies that are bringing out, concealed carry type guns.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the best thing I've ever seen lately is probably that 380Z.
Yeah.
Smith & Wesson 380Z or EZ. So what do you think is the next step? What do you think is coming? What could make these guns, I mean, they're great now. What could make them better than what they are? I mean, have we ran out of the ideas? Have we ran out of, do you see what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
I mean, they
I'm
all
seeing
are starting to be the same.
I am seeing a lot of the same type of gun.
So, I mean, what do you think they could do to mix it up?
So there's two different directions. They're either going for the inexpensive, carry gun.
Sure.
Like a Taurus G2 or the Skies, which are even worse.
Waste.
Or they're going, really super elaborate SIG Legions, getting all this dolled up stuff and trigger work from the factory.
So they're going one extreme to the next.
Right. And that's where you touched on that 380 Easy. That's going a different direction, I think. Even though it's a 380 and it's a, there's a lot of them out there, but this is a different gun.
Right.
And I think because of that, you're going to see some other companies, not just Smith & Wesson. I think Ruger, maybe even SIG. I know SIG just had that P365 come out, but it's a concealed gun. It's just like everybody else's. It's a little more capacity, but
and the 380 EZ is a great little gun, but it's not, and it's more of a niche market than what I see. But it's still the same old boring freaking gun.
And there's companies doing all these different colors and stuff like that, which
it's like they've ran out of the technology to making the guns better.
Right.
And I guess that's what I'm getting at. Maybe I'm totally missing something here, but it's like the technology to further the gun to make them better. They've hit it. They've hit a wall.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do to them?
Where they're going is they're going to try and fill those niches. Like that 380 Easy. And
there you go. I could see that, I guess, but really, there's not that many niches left.
There's not.
What are you going to do?
Here's my proposal: is I want somebody to make a crossover revolver semi-auto.
Okay, explain.
I have no idea. If I see it, then I'll be like, well, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what.
But
so maybe they kind of had something like that already with the Chiappa,
the White Rhino. Rhino.
That kind of was
It's kind of a cool.
It's got the lower bore axis on it.
Yeah.
It looks like a semi-auto,
sure
but it's a revolver.
It shoots. It goes into your hand, not over your hand. Yeah.
So maybe that was it. I don't know. But I can see the niche market, because even the gun that I want, and I mean, much as we joke around about it, as that PD-10, it's essentially, if it ever gets released, it's actually a niche market gun. It's supposed to be for the concealed carry holder. Everything they want. Night sights, claw sights, single stack, 1911 mags, 9mm, medium size, easy concealment. Supposed to point real well. The ergonomics are supposed to be great. So, I mean, that would be a niche market, right?
Yeah,
that's going to be the gun for everything.
But I mean,
what more could you?
So here's what I think. The way I would go with this, I would make a gun that you could conceal carry, but also like it comes with a different slide and a different barrel that you can take out to the range and do some target shooting with. It's kind of like a double purpose gun, but you just have to swap it out.
What would you swap them out for? Like a crappy slide or something? I mean,
no, like a longer slide or longer barrel for when you're out at the range shooting targets and stuff.
But then you need a longer frame.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is you. But you
so
could,
they
you
already
could add on or something.
They already have that to a certain extent. For when ammo was tight, when you could actually buy 22 ammo. They have the 22 conversions that were real popular about, I don't know, it was when I lived in Kansas. So it had to be like, it was real popular, about 10, 11, 12 years ago?
So like you're talking like a P22 that had you could put the target barrel or the
or any of the Glocks. They a lot of the Glocks
okay,
they're
I
selling
get
the
you.
actual conversion kits were big for a while. At least down where I was, they were.
Right. Well, and I don't know that it's necessarily the guns that are going to change. I think the ammo is starting to. Like
Yeah,
the,
that's
the
about
22 TCM.
Yeah.
It's a cut down 223 that's neck down for a 22. It's just a short 223, really, is all it is.
Right. So that would be probably the next thing to look at.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to concentrate more on. I mean, I don't know. This is just me talking. If I go to SHOT Show, I can give you the inside scoop on everything. No, maybe they're going to focus more on like ammunition then, like you said, and they're going to make it better, different calibers, new calibers.
But I think in doing so, they're going to just there's so many dang calibers out there as it is.
Well, doing so, if they come up with new calibers, they'll give them an excuse to flood the gun market with new guns that'll shoot these calibers, and then it might keep the gun market rolling.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
I mean, one's got to complement the other,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
I just, as far as a firearm, as far as a handgun, and I'm not talking rifles, but because I think rifles, there's so much different stuff. You can still move on and get better, but with handguns anymore, a handgun is a handgun is a handgun. I mean, you've made them light, you made them small, you've made them, you name it, different colors. I don't know what the hell else you're going to do.
Right.
I mean, look at Glock. They just keep bringing one out every year that looks the same, and they just change the labeling to Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5.
And the Gen 5 literally is just...
it's got Gen 5 stamped on it.
It's what the FBI wanted, and they submitted to the Department of Defense, right?
Right.
Or I guess I don't know what department it is, but they submitted it and they said, we want this feature, this feature, this feature, right? They pretty much were naming off the P320. But the government said, well, we're going to give Glock an opportunity to make this gun.
Right.
And Glock said, yeah, we can do it. And so they threw together this Gen 5. And some of the features they put on it are just, they're stupid. There's a little cutout in the Glock 19 and the 17 that it's right where your pinky sits on the grip. And it's just uncomfortable. And I don't understand why they did that. I mean, so I don't know. It's going to be economics. It's going to be supply and demand. I mean, you're going to supply what's in demand. That's pretty much it.
Right now, unless the PD-10 comes out, right now, if I were to go buy a gun right now, to be honest with you, I would probably just go buy something fun.
If I was to buy a gun,
I don't know what I would buy. I have everything I need for concealed carry.
Honestly, I think I would buy one of those 380 EZs.
I thought about that, but if I did something like that, that would be like a classroom style.
That's what I'm saying.
But if I were to go buy a gun for me,
yeah, okay, I get you.
I don't, and let the PD-10, whenever it may not ever exist, I'm not sure, but there's not. I don't know what I'd go buy. I've got a Glock.
The FN57 and the PMR30, those are.
I've got a PMR30, so
those are kind of. I don't know. I don't want to call them novelties. Guns. They're kind of just weird.
Well, it's kind of like owning a 500 Smith or a
it is
just some big bore revolver.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm in the market for. Really, is I would just go buy something fun and crazy, something to use at the range, something to, you know what I'm saying, just something fun like that. Maybe to possibly go shoot an elk or a moose with if I ever drew a tag or something like that. But right now, I'm not seeing anything. Not that they're bad, but I have everything I need.
Right.
And
you're right. They kind of have hit a wall. I mean, there's no new technology in it. There's no, everybody's striker fired pistols are all kind of the same.
Right.
When I clean my guns, I take them down pretty much all the same way.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, they got different takedown levers or whatever, but they all come apart the same way.
I might go buy like a 9mm revolver. Who makes those over there?
Like Ruger LCR has a 9mm.
Yeah,
like a snub nose, or they make a
just
couple
because
you can swap the cylinders and do 357 or 9mm or whatever.
And so I might do something like that. I'm not 100% positive, but I just don't. There's nothing I absolutely need right now because it's the latest and the greatest. They're all kind of the same, and in my mind, it's almost been that way for like the last couple years.
You're right. No, it has. I mean, they're coming out with new generations of things. The M&P 2.0, and I did think that was an improvement.
That was an improvement. That was a better trigger.
It's a better gun and the better grip and everything. I think they did well with that. But again, it's just a new generation. There's nothing, really stand out about the technology and now.
So that's another thing. So the people who are listening to the podcast, send, write in, post on the Facebook page, whatever. Send an email to patriotdefense13@yahoo.com. It's patriotdefense13@yahoo.com. Find us on Facebook under Patriot Defense. Like the page, and let us know what would you buy if you're going out there right now to buy a firearm? What would you buy? Would it be something just for fun, like a range toy? Would it
be the newest and greatest thing out there?
What would you buy and why would you buy it? Because I'm not getting frustrated with them, and I just don't. I think what I do right now is I've got enough handguns. To be honest with you, I'd rather put my money into ammo and some training, and go that route.
That's what I've been doing this year. I bought one gun this year. Last year I bought 8 guns.
Speaking of ammo, Freedom Munitions.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I don't know.
Their parent company, and yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go under, if they're going to pull out, but they're bankruptcy. So, we'll see what happens. I kind of liked them.
Yeah.
That ammo company, but what else we got going on here? It's kind of a slow week. Firearms news, right?
Yeah, except for that one big thing, but it just seems, I hate to be insensitive about it, but it just seems to be the
new norm.
The new norm almost. And that's sad.
It is. Those poor people were just going to work, right? Yeah. I mean, it kind of, when I first heard about the guy going in with the shotgun and shooting him up. It reminds me of a video I show in my my video for my active shooter class.
Yeah,
guy goes in there and have you seen those?
Part of that thing I did at the college, that big screen.
Yeah,
there was an incident where there's a guy in an office building where there's cubicles and you got people coming at you, running at you, kind of thing, and you got to pick out who's the threat.
Yeah,
because people are just running by you trying to get away from the active shooter.
Oh yeah,
and then all of a sudden this guy just pops out with a shotgun, and you got to, take him down. But you got to figure out who's not the threat and who is the threat. It's very difficult, actually.
Oh yeah. So I've talked about it before, and I'm in the midst of doing it right now, and I'm gonna buy. Patriot Defense is gonna invest into simunition rounds or UTM type rounds, and I want to start we were talking about this earlier. I want to start developing classes around these rounds. Like scenario type. Is that what you call them?
I call them scenario. I don't like using that word, but it's kind of what it is. You're putting people in a situation where they have to
seeing how they'd react.
Yeah, seeing how they react and figure out what they're gonna do. Helping them through decision making.
Right. So we're hoping. I'm hoping that I can get this stuff ordered here this next week, and we can kind of do some test runs with it. Not a class per se, but you, me, and Dean can do some. I think we'll have some fun doing some testing.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you shoot me with it.
Sweet. That's what I'm looking forward to. But we'll do some testing with it, see what we can come up with class-wise. And I'm not quite sure where I'm going to hold these classes yet. I'm looking into building not an indoor range per se, but a building where I can do this stuff. But it's just time and money, people. That's what it boils down to, time and money. And I've got the time, but I'm trying to get the bank to give me the money. So it's not going to be a cheap endeavor, that's for sure.
Let me ask you this, because this is something that you brought up, a bank, and I want to know what the rule is on it. I went to my bank the other day. Totally forgot about that I had my gun on me.
Oh yeah.
I walked into the bank, and by the time I got in there, I realized, oh crap, I still have my gun on me. Is that?
You're fine. Is the bank signed?
No.
Don't worry about it. You're good. Even if it's signed, you can carry in there, and if they see it,
they weren't going to see it. It was concealed.
Right, but even if it was signed, let's say, and you carry in there, and they see it, and they ask you to leave, you got to leave. If you don't, that's when there's a problem. And obviously, you don't want to tangled up with a bank and a gun.
Right. I didn't know if it was different because it's a bank.
Nope. There's a sign on the sticker on the windows or whatever that will say federal, and people see federal and they stop. It'll say FDIC, and they think, oh, federal, I can't have a gun, and you're wrong. Those are federally insured. It's a private establishment that is federally insured. You can take a gun in there all day long.
Okay.
And they can't say anything. Well, they can say something to you about it.
You just don't hold it at the teller.
Yeah, just don't show them your new carry gun like they do at the counter.
Yeah, the gun counter.
At the gun counter where you work, that would be really, really bad. So, hey, I tell you what, we've talked about some stuff here. We do actually have a call, and let me pull it up here. Facial ID recognition on my phone.
Facial recognition. Oh, that's where they get the technology from.
Way
to go, Apple.
Probably. So this phone call is by my buddy Josh, and we're just gonna say Josh. He told me how to pronounce his name. Yeah, I forgot. So Josh called in again. Let's go ahead and we will play it now.
Hey guys, this is Josh again. Hey, something just kind of came to mind after seeing several people carrying just FMJ rounds. Maybe delve into the good points of hollow points and expanding ammunition versus full metal jacket for your concealed carry weapon and your defensive ammo. Anyways, hey guys, great podcast and love listening to it. And thank you. Bye.
There you go. That was a call from our buddy Josh up in the Boise area, and he wanted us to touch on difference between full metal jackets and good hollow point rounds, and when you should use each one of those and why. And my voice is fading, man. I'll tell you right now, we're cutting this podcast right now, and it's about 5 to 8.
You're struggling.
And I'm struggling. I'm getting so tired. I'm like a little 3-year-old over here in my freaking chair. My eyes are wanting to go closed. I can feel my voice is getting a little raspy, but I'll let you take this one, and I'll jump in if I feel like I need to, but I'm pretty sure you can handle this.
So on the FMJ, the best time to use it is at the range if you're just chewing through ammo. It's not good, especially in a home situation. Even outdoors, there's one major issue with it. It's just an over-penetration issue. In your house, it'll go right through a wall.
It's made to put a little narrow channel through something.
And it'll just, if you have your kids on the other side of the wall and you're trying to stop a threat in your home, bad idea. Something you may want to consider in your home is actually frangible ammo. But if you are going to carry out and about, there's some really good high-rated stuff. Federal Hydroshocks, they're a very good hollow point. The Hornady Critical Defense, also very good. And it's a rapid expanding hollow point. And what they do is when they impact, like on the Critical Defense, it has a polymer tip in it. It will push that polymer tip into the bullet and help it expand. The more expansion you get, the quicker it will stop. So it will not over-penetrate. Frangible ammo is good because it breaks apart. If it was to hit a wall, it would, even though I've seen some that does. That's a different story. Frangible ammo is designed to hit impact and just break apart, not
so how does that
not
work?
over-penetrate.
How does that work in a person?
It will penetrate. It will penetrate into them, but it will, it just franges. It's not a solid core bullet. It's just like a.
It's kind of like that copper stuff I shoot out of my 223, and then where he hits it, and it just.
Yeah, it's kind of it's almost a chalk. If you could put a chalk in a bullet, that's about what it is. A little bit heavier duty, obviously, but.
Huh. I've never messed with that stuff. I might have to check it out.
It's I've shot some of it that wasn't supposed to penetrate. It actually went right through a 2x4. But
well, and here's the thing too. Not all hollow points are going to necessarily open up every time either.
That's true.
And so there's a lot of hollow points. And you had a great description. Did I interrupt you?
No, you're fine.
Okay, so hollow points is what I tell everyone. Full metal jackets are made. Will they kill someone? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can bleed out. Yes, but it's made to zip right through a target, and it's going to zip right out of the target typically, and it's going to keep on going.
Yep, and potentially hit something behind it.
Hit something behind it.
That you don't want to hit.
Right. So a Hollow point is made to impact, open up, and leave a large wound channel and do mass amounts of damage while not exiting the body. And the way you're going to stop a bad guy is essentially by shooting him and making him lose blood pressure, making his blood pressure drop. And you're going to do that with bigger holes. Bigger holes, go in there, stay in there, bounce around, shred stuff, tear it apart. A little tiny, track, a little tiny hole through someone will do it, but not as, efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, if you're looking to carry a firearm for self-defense, and granted, you don't want to tell law enforcement this, but you need to carry a good hollow point round, and you need to carry a round that is made to kill efficiently.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's the real, not the PC way to put it.
That's what law enforcement carries, though. They carry LE rounds, which are those hydroshock type rounds. They're very, fast expanding
black
hollow points.
talons.
Yes, black talons.
I need some of those.
Sounds just ominous. It's just like,
So speaking of that, Josh, I did get your text message earlier today. So I sent this. Josh,
black talons.
Josh sent me this text message today, and I'm going to call him out on the radio because you can't send this and then not explain. He goes, "Here's one I thought you might find funny. I never thought I'd say this, but I was just attacked by a hawk." What the hell, Josh? And that's all you gave me, and that was like at 11 o'clock today. I need more than that.
One of our
maybe
Josh.
Maybe Josh isn't here anymore.
Well, that could be.
Hawk got
maybe
him.
the hawk got him. But that's a good UTM class. Is how to defend yourself from a hawk.
We're not going to be shooting at birds of prey, dude. I get shut down.
Yeah, bad idea. Yeah.
So but we could get a kite. We could. Never mind.
Oh, kite might work. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
I know what I could do.
A balloon.
No.
Oh.
No. Carry one of my wife's chickens in there. You could climb up into the rafters.
Oh, and I'll just drop it on him.
And you could drop the chicken on him.
We'll recreate Josh's incident.
It would be like one of my favorite movies, Napoleon Dynamite.
I've only seen parts of that movie.
You haven't seen it? Napoleon goes to work in a chicken farm. And this old man is like telling him what to do. And he looks at him and he goes, "Do these chickens have large talons?"
I haven't seen that.
You got to see the freaking movie.
I'm going to watch that movie. I hope it's on Netflix or something.
So, yeah, no. Anyhow, but no, great question. And yeah, there's a lot of people that do carry FMJs. I see it too. Spend a little bit of money. Go buy some good hollow points.
Yeah, don't shoot them at the range, though, because that's a waste of money. But
I will encourage this, though. If you're going to go buy some good hollow points, which you should.
Yeah. Try them out.
Spend some money. Buy a box or two. Make sure your gun is going to function with them. Especially if you were shooting, I'm not just picking on them, but especially if you were shooting a 1911. Make sure your gun is just, you don't want to test that ammo out when you actually have to use it.
Some of them are
defend your life.
Notorious for not feeding.
Right.
Because they're so flat-nosed, they catch on the ramp and they won't feed.
Won't feed right. So you want something that's going to work when you want it to. So I know it's not cheap. So,
but at least try them out. At least one mag, at least. I mean, but don't go target shooting with them.
Right. So, get it figured out. And should you carry the same hollow point rounds? How long should you carry the same hollow point rounds for in your firearm?
That's a good question. I try to rotate.
I had some in mine for a long time.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm kind of weird.
Eventually, if you chamber and rechamber a little bit, you'll actually start to get some setback in the bullet.
Yeah.
And it's good to shoot them. And, yeah, so I don't do everything perfect. And I've got some of my firearm that I've been carrying since I lived in Kansas.
I'll be honest. I carried FMJs in mine for a while.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to spend the money. And
give me a drill. I'll make it so there. We'll open them up.
Right.
Kidding. Well, don't do that.
No, I do now. I carry hollow points. I don't do the FMJs, but I've got thousands and thousands of FMJs, but I don't carry with them. Right.
So other than that, I think this show is pretty near wrapped up. So we hit all the important
notes. Patriot Defense on Facebook. Like it, share it.
share the podcast.
And yeah, share the podcast if you can. Also call in to the podcast. The number is 1-208-696-4397. We'd love to hear from you. Josh had some good comments, good topics. Send us stuff to talk about. We will listen and we will talk about it. Again, the podcast hotline is 1-208-696-4397.
Don't forget our contest. The contest is starting on July 1st. Going to go through the month. It's my birthday month, so we're celebrating. We're having a contest. Remember, if you can find a gun, don't find something off the internet. Okay, I've seen all the internet pictures, right?
Right.
We have lots of people in here, me and Mark, and we know the internet inside out. All the gun pictures, we've seen them all. So we want you to go out into the wilds of Walmart.
I don't even care if they set it up.
I don't even care
if they
if
have a
it's
high
Walmart.
point.
That's right.
And they have a crappy holster, and they want to put a 45 high point into a little LCP holster
Or whatever.
and just take a picture of it while they're wearing it.
There you go.
I don't care. I want to see this.
But you need to post it. Post it to the Patriot Defense page, and you send it in a message even if you want. But you have to tag it. You have to hashtag, if it meets both, hashtag crappy carry, hashtag fancy gun. We'll have your name on there. At the end of the month, we'll take all the submissions that we've got, and we will choose a winner, and I will find out where you live, ask you your information. We'll announce it on the show. In fact, we may draw it on the show. We'll announce it on the show, and I'll send you guys a Patriot Defense hat and a Patriot Defense sticker.
If you think about it, it's really not that difficult.
It's not. In fact, I might do something under my son's name. I'm going to enter some under my son's name.
There you go. A push of a button is all it is.
Click, 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 and send.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Right? I think so.
Let's see what you guys can come up with.
And we are going to try really hard to, I think we're doing okay on the podcast. We're going to try, we were talking about some improvements today. We're going to try to do Instagram live videos and try to update some stuff. So changes are coming, hopefully. But tell you what, it makes changes a lot easier to do if we know we have a lot of good people, a lot of people listening. And we have the listeners we have right now are fantastic. We'd like to grow the show. We'd like to reach out to more people. We're not doing this we don't get paid to do this. We do this because we like to do it, and we want to reach more people. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share links of the Spotify.
Have Patriot Defense podcast parties. That's a lot to say.
There you go.
Yeah.
Patriot Defense podcast.
Get a group of
parties.
people together, listen to it, and then they'll get hooked, and then they'll listen to it on their own. But have a party
and share it with all
share it
with all your deadbeat friends. Okay, go ahead and you can link it on Facebook. Share it with your friends. Have people like and subscribe. It's important they click the subscribe button. That way we know they're watching it. And we're going to keep doing this regardless. But it's if we can get more interaction with the show, more people listening, it's way more fun. It makes for a better show. It makes us want to go out and buy newer and better equipment to keep this rolling, and that's what we want to do. We just want to provide good good content.
If we get enough equipment, we get a camera, we could possibly show off Dean's panis. Not that that's gonna
anyone wants to see Dean's.
We might get less listeners if we do that.
Hey, Dean, Mark just volunteered. If you're listening somewhere, Dean, I think he's lost in freaking Utah or something.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so yeah, lots of good things to come. That's not one of them. So until then,
that's one of my bad ideas.
That's right. Everyone have a good weekend. Go throw some lead down range. Be safe. I'll throw this out there too, real quick. You won't hear us before the 4th of July. So everyone go out and have a safe 4th of July. If you're gonna drink, if you're gonna whatever, that's fine. Do what you want to do on the 4th of July. Just be safe about it. We need more listeners, more subscribers. We definitely don't want to lose any of the ones that we have. So be smart, be safe. Don't drink, don't drive. Don't go out and shoot while you're drinking. Do the shooting before and drink later on in the afternoon. Be safe, and please no shots fired up in the air in celebration by any means, because that bullet has to come down somewhere. And that's happens every year, and we just don't need that. Be smart, be safe. Don't paint gun owners in a bad light. So Until then, any last words, Mark?
Last words.
Okay, I think we're good. See ya.